Hello everybody and welcome back to Nick Dompierre Garage, where I'll be building my dream E30. In episode 1, we did get the engine and transmission in the car. I also made the radiator core support removal for easy installation. Episode 2, we did do the fuel system as well as getting the turbo mounted up, the differential in place. And now here we are with episode number 3. So we are building a M52 turbo setup and it's coming along quite nicely. So very excited, getting super close to getting this thing started and running. And again, the goal is to have it running and driving by my birthday, which is on July 29th. So here we go, one episode closer. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, so I want to say a big thank you to my buddy Brent for building me this custom engine mount. So look at this thing. This thing is super, super heavy duty and it is literally not going anywhere. So again, reason why we had to build these custom mounts, well, this is the passenger side. We still have to finish the driver side. So again, reason why we had to build a mount is because on the iX models, which this car is an iX, it's all-wheel drive. Well, it was all-wheel drive, I'm converted it to rear wheel. So the whole front subframe is about 5 inches forward. So if this was an IS, an ES, an I, whatever, any base model E30, everything would bolt right up easy. I could buy swap parts and all that, but since it's the iX, the M52 is not supposed to go in this car, but I am making it go into this car. So that's why we have a custom engine mount, and the way the M20 motor sits, so the M20 is the one that comes with the car, so it sits on an angle, so the M52 sits more upright. So right now I have the M20 engine mounts on the block just to get the motor in the car and kind of fit it where it roughly should be. And for this side, for the engine actual mount, I have like a 3/8 nut, and on the other side I have one of the engine mounts plus a Stanley socket. So basically one side's up here and the other side's down here, because the M20 motor sits like this, but this motor sits more like upright. So that's why the arms are on such an angle, but I need so much to fill this gap here and very little on this side, on the passenger side, to fill that gap, which I'm going to show you guys right now. Yeah, pretty crazy, but we're going to get this mount installed. Let's get it. All right, and here's just another look at this amazing, beautiful, fabbed up mount. Once again, thanks Brent. Really appreciate it, bro. This thing came out badass. Okay, so check it out. This is the factory iX engine arm. And look at right here. So there's supposed to be a mount here, which is probably about this high, but I just have a nut there because that's roughly where the engine will sit comfortably. And then over here, check this out. Yeah, so right here, here's the engine mount, and right there is a socket just to fill the gap here. But you see how high this gap is here and how small this gap is here. So we're gonna pull this one out, put the new engine arm in, and then I'll be able to put the actual Delrin engine mount in as well. Here we go. All right, get the engine jacked up a little bit, just enough, so that way there's no tension on this, and I can pull this mount out. All right, and here you can see the difference in the mounts. So as you can see, it's the same bolt distance, so that lines up here, but check out the angles. Maybe this will be better. There we go. That's the difference. So boom. So I'm really stoked on how this engine arm came out. It came out literally perfect. So amazing. Thank you again, Brent. And we just got one more to go. And for those that are wondering, my intercooler is 31 by 12 by 3 inches. And so the passenger side was really easy to mock up, but for this side, I do need a few different angles and also some welding with aluminum, which I do not have a TIG welder. All right, so I did have my other intercooler pipe all fabbed up, all out of aluminum, and I don't have a TIG welder and I've never welded aluminum in my life, so I had this pipe made. And this was made by a kid named JT Fab right here in Bradenton, Florida. So again, thank you JT for helping me out with this. And so, what are all these connections here? So it's gonna go from the turbo through the intercooler, out of this coupler, which that's gonna go here, and then this goes to the throttle body. So this pipe here, this is for the blow-off valve. So that goes right here. So when the engine is under boost, so there's pressure coming from the turbo going through the intercooler and through here, this valve stays closed. But when I let off the gas and the throttle body closes, there's still pressure inside this pipe. So once I let off the gas, it's gonna close the throttle body and create vacuum pressure. So it's gonna pull from this little nipple here, it's gonna suck, which is gonna create vacuum, and this is gonna open up and release all that pressure that is built out. So that's why it's called a blow-off valve. And here's just a simple diagram of how the blow-off valve works. If you see the blue line on the top, so that is boost pressure coming in from the manifold, and that's gonna keep the spring closed. But then when the throttle body closes, it creates vacuum pressure. So it's pulling from that hose on the other side of the throttle body, creating vacuum and opening up that valve to release all the extra pressure. This one here, this is for my idle control valve to keep the idle nice and stable. And then this one right here, this is for my intake air temp sensor to tell the computer the temperature of the air that is going into the engine. So this is gonna go here like so. It clips on here. And voila. So all right, let's install it on the car. Slide in there. Then we have this coupler here. So this is a 3.5 to 3 inch because the throttle body is a 3.5 inch inlet. So this is gonna pop on here. All right, good there. Now this is gonna pop in here. And then we have the idle control valve, which goes into here. Okay. And there we have it. That's nice and neatly. Pretty stoked on how that came out. Intercooler piping is done. And then we did a little bit of weight reduction. So I'm not sure if you've ever removed the sound deadening out of a car, but this is from the E30. And this stuff is extremely heavy. I moved about 40 pounds out of the trunk. So right now I'm working on the cooling lines for the turbo. So most turbos, they are oil cooled, but mine happens to be water cooled as well. So what that does, it helps the turbo last a little bit longer because there's so much heat generated and the oil flowing through can only cool it down so much. So there's actually water lines I'm gonna be running to it. So on the M52, this little end here has a barb on it and this goes to the head with just a regular hose. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna weld on this 6AN fitting here, so that way I can run a line to the turbo, and then the line's gonna go from the turbo back to the head. So that way it will complete the full loop of circulating the water. So let's get to work. All right, so check it out, how I got it to stay in there. What I did was, took a screwdriver, put it through here, and then voila. Since this is really thin, I'm just gonna have to go slow. All right, I got a pretty good tack on there. Now I can work my way around. Well, alrighty guys, it's all welded up, and I'm not the best welder, but I do what I can, and pretty stoked to be able to do this stuff on my own. So, all right, good to go. And so here are the fittings for the coolant lines for the turbo. So it is a 3/8 NPT to a 6AN fitting. So I'm just putting a little bit of pipe sealant on there so that way there's no leaks. And so this line comes all the way around, up over the top of the motor and down into where I welded on the fitting. So it came out perfect, fit awesome, and really stoked on how it turned out. And now for the other line, I did use a 45-degree fitting on the turbo because it just fit perfectly for the angle I needed. So this hose comes over the valve cover and then to the back of the head, which right here I use this fitting I got from Racetronics. So it allows me to screw it into the coolant sensor port and have the AN fitting come out. And there we go. The turbo cooling lines are done. All right guys, we got another package. So let's check it out. I already know where it's from, obviously, but I like doing unboxings. So this is an electric fan. And this is like the thinnest fan that they do make. So I had an electric fan from my previous turbo setup, but the fan was too thick and it doesn't fit between the radiator and the engine. So I'm hoping this one fits. And it looks like it's gonna because it is super thin. So I believe this one is about 2 inches in width, and the other one I had was about 3. So, all right, test fit. All right, here we go, the test fit. All right, perfect, it works. Literally, there's like just enough room, so sweet. We get an electric fan. All right, next up we go to install the drive shaft. So there are 3 bolts up front. These are 18 millimeter. They get torqued to 60 foot-pounds. Then there's gonna be 2 bolts that hold up this center support bearing. They are on the bottom of the car, which I'll show you guys shortly. They are 13 millimeter. They go to 16 foot-pounds. And then back here, we have 4 bolts. And I did put some NICs on there. And these are 16 millimeter bolts, 60 foot-pounds. And then I had to jack up the rear end so that way the tires could spin freely, so that way I can get to the top 2 studs. And then I was able to put the nuts on, no problem at all. So right now I'm working on the power steering lines. Now when you swap in a M50, M52, any of that style motor, the power steering pump is different than what comes on the M20. So I made up my own kit. Now there are companies that do make stuff like Chase Bays, which I'll put it on the screen, but I think it's like it's a lot of money, but I made this little setup myself. So with the Chase Bay one, you get a line that's just like this, and then you get 2 fittings. So there's a M16 by 1.5, which that is the thread of the power steering pump, and then also M14 by 1.5, that is the thread on the steering rack. So this is gonna bolt up to the power steering pump, that's gonna go to the steering rack, and then from the steering rack, it's going to go up to the reservoir, and then from the reservoir it goes back down to the power steering pump. So I'll show you guys all that plumbing, but I literally made this kit and I don't think it cost me more than like $50. So literally I paid 1/3 of the price by just outsourcing parts myself. And so yeah, if you do your research, you can save a lot of money, and literally I made this myself. All right, so here's the power steering pump, and that is the M16 by 1.5 fitting. And then over here, there's the steering rack, and that is the M14 by 1.5. So the line I just showed you guys, we're gonna install it now. And so from the power steering rack to the reservoir, I'm going to be using this. So this used to be a line, and it was crimped here, but I cut it off because I needed a longer piece. So I'm gonna use this hose. It's just gonna simply go over it just like this. Put on a hose clamp, and then we use the banjo bolt, which comes from the factory. This goes through here, and this goes in here. Screws into the steering rack, and then that's gonna go up to the reservoir. Let's get it done. All right, and we got a hose clamp on there, and that's literally not going anywhere. And so here's the view from the top of the engine. It comes from the steering rack all the way up through these lines. And right here, I'm gonna flip the camera around, continue moving upward, and it goes straight into the reservoir. So that is the power steering system. That's how I did it, and ready to rock. So I wanna show you guys the oil setup for my turbo. So I did get this distribution block from Rally Road. I was able to connect my oil temperature as well as oil pressure gauge that's in the cabin, so that goes through the firewall there. And then this line right here, this is the oil feed line that goes to the turbo. So it goes out through the front of the engine and connects to the turbo that supplies the oil. And here's the drain. So I do have a metal flexible drain that connects to a 10 AN line because it's super close to the wastegate and I didn't want it to melt. So I did get that from Pack Performance, and then I just created the -10 AN line that goes down to the oil pans. So that is the oil drain and the oil feed system. And I did put these gauges where the factory radio goes because I didn't plan to put a radio in the car. I much prefer to listen to the engine so I can always hear everything that's going on rather than just a bunch of loud music. And not sure if I've ever showed you guys the interior, but here is how it's currently looking. Seats are a little dusty. I mean, the car's been sitting for a while. Could use a good cleaning, but we are almost ready to get driving. Well, alrighty guys, another episode in the books. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying all the content. So yeah, we are getting pretty close. There's only a few things left. And man, I really want to drive this car by the end of the month, so we're getting close. So next up, we do have the ECU, so I'm waiting for that to come in, and then also the exhaust. So I do have all of the piping right here. Everything is stainless steel. It's really, really nice stuff, and I can't wait to start fabbing this up with my buddy Jeff. Really, really amazing fabricator. And I'm just gonna give you guys a little sneak peek of what we're gonna be doing for the exhaust. So it's gonna go turbo back all the way through into a race muffler, and I'm gonna be recirculating the wastegate. So the wastegate is here, and instead of just dumping it into the atmosphere, which creates a lot of noise, I'm gonna recirculate it back into the exhaust, and that's basically what the exhaust is gonna look like. So alrighty guys, that is gonna be it for today. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section down below. And yeah, once again, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned because we will be driving this thing very, very shortly. And thank you guys so much for the love and support. See you in the next video.